Today we're diving into, well, just an extraordinary voice. An artist who really did seem to cross every boundary. A sound that touched millions, bringing together ancient traditions and much more modern sounds.
Absolutely. We're talking about the legend Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan.
Exactly. Often called simply the voice of the divine.
And it feels like more than just music, doesn't it? It's like exploring how deep spiritual feeling finds its voice.
Yeah.
What's amazing is how that voice just resonated, changing lives, influencing other huge artists all over the world, all in a relatively short time.
It really is amazing.
Okay.
So our mission today really is to unpack that journey. How did this young man from Faisalabad, Pakistan, music was literally in his blood.
Right.
How did he become this global icon? We want to get at the power, the almost timeless legacy of that voice.
And we've been looking at Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Voice of the Divine, as our guide here.
Yes, and it paints such a vivid picture, doesn't it? Almost like his life was fated.
It really does frame it like that, like a destiny unfolding. Shows how this incredible talent wasn't just found, but fulfilled a purpose that felt almost pre-written. It's quite inspiring, really. The power of belief, artistic and spiritual.
So where does a voice like that even start? It wasn't on some grand stage, right?
Yeah.
It begins back in Faisalabad, Pakistan. That's where the roots are. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, born into a family just completely immersed in the Qawwali tradition. Now, maybe not everyone listening knows exactly what Qawwali entails. Could you give us a sense of its depth?
Yeah, it's crucial to get this. Qawwali isn't just music. It's a form of Sufi devotional music. It's meant to be a path to, well, spiritual ecstasy, really.
Right.
It's not performance for entertainment's sake alone. It's a shared act, remembering, yearning for the divine. And his family,
Wow.
his father, Ustad Fateh Ali Khan, and generations before him, for over 600 years.
600 years.
600 years, they kept this sacred art alive. Just imagine that. Centuries of practice, passing it down, refining this really complex musical and spiritual language.
That's incredible.
You usually have the harmonium, tabla, dolak drums, and those rhythmic hand claps building this hypnotic energy.
Right, the clapping.
Yeah. And the singing builds, too, from these slow, almost prayerful verses to these amazing bursts of improvisation. So to be born into that family, it wasn't just inheriting music, it was inheriting this huge responsibility.
A 600-year responsibility, which makes it even more fascinating that apparently young Nusrat wasn't originally expected to follow that path. His father actually saw a different life for him. Maybe he knew how tough the life of a Qawwal was. But given that lineage, how common was it to not continue the tradition? And why might his father have hesitated?
That's a great point. Destiny versus family expectation, right? It wasn't totally unheard of for family members to do other things, but for the eldest son in a major Qawwali family, the expectation was usually huge.
Yeah, you'd think so.
His father's reluctance probably came from knowing just how demanding it is, spiritually, technically. It takes immense dedication, a kind of spiritual purity, and, well, a voice with extraordinary power.
Okay.
Maybe he pictured Nusrat having a quieter life, maybe more academic, or just wanted to spare him the hard life of a traveling musician, always under the microscope because of the family name.
Right.
It definitely makes his eventual path feel more like his own choice, chosen despite that initial pushback.
It really does. And maybe that path was sort of confirmed for him by that pivotal moment, that dream he had.
Yeah.
The story goes, he dreamt he was singing to this huge crowd, his voice just soaring, echoing across the skies. Can you imagine having a vision like that as a kid?
It's powerful, isn't it? A voice echoing across the skies. It feels like a foreshadowing of his global reach.
Totally.
And in Sufi thought, dreams can be seen as divine messages. So for Nusrat, this probably solidified his connection, like, this is my path through music. It's almost like a classic hero's journey moment,
Right.
The sign that sets the course. It must have given him some comfort, some direction, especially when dealing with his father's doubts early on.
So, okay, he has the dream. The path seems clearer. But it wasn't easy, especially after his father passed away.
No.
Nusrat faced a lot of doubt, skepticism even. He wasn't like the most experienced Qawwal in their family right then. People wondered, could he really carry this massive ancient legacy? It makes you stop and think,
Yeah.
That kind of pressure, that doubt. How many great artists might have just given up under that weight?
It was enormous pressure. 6 centuries of tradition on relatively young shoulders. But that period of doubt is actually really important, I think. It sets the stage for what happened next.
How so?
Because he wasn't just inheriting a role, he had to actively earn it. He had to prove himself to his family, his community, to the tradition itself. It wasn't a smooth handover. He had to silence those doubters with just the sheer power of his voice when he performed.
Right.
Those first appearances, people were whispering, comparing. But I suspect that pressure actually strengthened his resolve.
And silenced them. He did. Because the way it's told, when he finally sang properly in his own right, it was like the world stopped to listen.
Yeah.
Such a powerful description, but it captures something about his voice, doesn't it? It can be incredibly powerful, like thunder, and then suddenly so tender, like a whisper, like a prayer. He seemed to master that space between earthly pain and, well, divine joy.
Exactly. It wasn't just one or the other. It was the mastery of that whole spectrum. Think about how he could shift from this almost primal cry of longing, what calls sargam or bolbanov, those fast improvised melodies,
Right.
to an alap, this slow, unfolding, melodic line, so delicate it felt personal, like a prayer inside you. It wasn't just technique. It felt like spiritual alchemy, turning sound into this direct line to feeling.
Wow.
It was channeling emotion that felt both deeply personal and utterly universal. And technically, his range was incredible, often spanning 3 octaves, and he could hold notes for seeming impossible lengths of time. He really pulled you in.
And through that voice, his famous Qawwali's pieces like Allahu, Tumhain Dalaji, Tajdari Haram, they became more than just songs, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely.
They were like journeys. People describe being carried into a spiritual trance. You'd hear them filling shrines, festivals, gatherings.
Yeah.
These weren't just concerts initially. They were deep spiritual events.
That's a key point, the function of the music itself. For Nusrat, Qawwali wasn't just for listening pleasure. It was a way to connect spiritually.
Right.
It's designed to induce sama, this state of spiritual listening, almost ecstasy.
Sama, okay.
His power to transport listeners, to put them in that trance-like state, speaks volumes about how deep the music goes, especially in its original setting. The lyrics, often in Urdu, Punjabi, Persian, they talk about divine love, longing, devotion.
Right.
And Nusrat's voice just amplified all of that, made you feel it. It's about communal spiritual experience, seeking union with the divine.
You know, a voice like that, a gift that powerful, it couldn't stay contained in one country, could it?
No.
It felt destined for more. And soon enough, his voice started traveling Europe, America, the big world sages. He really became an ambassador for Sufi music, opening it up for totally new audiences.
Yeah, that cross-cultural journey is fascinating. It shows how some art just breaks through language and borders. His world tours weren't just gigs, they were introductions to this whole spiritual and musical world for people who'd never heard anything like it.
And WOMED played a big part there, right? Peter Gabriel's festivals.
Huge part. WOMED really launched him onto the global stage in the mid-'80s. That exposure was absolutely pivotal.
And he didn't just perform the tradition, he started building bridges, these amazing cultural collaborations, like working with Peter Gabriel's Real World Records.
Yes.
His work on the Passion soundtrack for Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ must have introduced Qawwali to millions who'd never heard it.
Definitely. And then albums like Must Must with Michael Brook, fusing his voice with electronic textures, even bluesy sounds. These weren't just guest spots, they were real dialogues. They showed Qawwali could live and breathe in new sonic worlds.
It's incredible how adaptable it was in his hands.
With Michael Brook especially, they explored how that ethereal voice could blend with contemporary sounds, creating something totally new but still respectful of both sides.
And the Hollywood soundtracks kept coming too, didn't they? Natural Born Killers, Dead Man Walking, that track with Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, those cemented him as the global face of Sufi music.
Yeah.
He took this ancient 600-year-old tradition and somehow made it feel completely current and universal, but without losing its spiritual heart. That's the magic.
And the impact wasn't just on audiences. It hit other musicians hard too, even huge stars, legends in their own right. Like Jeff Buckley.
Oh, absolutely.
Buckley was famously obsessed covering Mojo Pin with those Qawwali-like vocal runs. And Eddie Vedder, as you mentioned. They were mesmerized.
It really shows his status, doesn't it? A musician's musician. When guys like Buckley and Vedder, who were innovators themselves, are that deeply affected.
Yeah.
It just speaks volumes about the raw power in Nusrat sound, its ability to inspire across any genre or cultural line. Buckley saw him as just pure emotion, expressing things beyond words.
Well,
His influence helped connect world music with mainstream alternative rock, proving that deep feeling, that spiritual ache, is a universal language.
It's just so tragic, then, that a life burning that brightly was cut short, passing away in 1997, only 48 years old.
Yeah, such a
A
loss.
real reminder of how fragile even the greatest talents can be.
It was a huge void left in music, gone way too soon, left you wanting more. But the sheer volume and quality of work he created in that time, it guaranteed his legacy.
Yeah.
It shows impact isn't just about how long you're around, but the depth of what you create, the mark you leave.
And despite being gone, it feels like his voice never faded, as the source material puts it.
Not at all.
It's still everywhere. You hear it in mosques, homes, on stages, and just in people's hearts all over the world. It feels immortal, timeless.
It does raise that question about artistic immortality, doesn't it? His voice somehow lives on beyond his physical life, still touching people, still inspiring new generations.
Yeah.
It's proof of how powerful genuine spiritual art can be. It finds a permanent home in our collective soul somehow. His music isn't just recordings, it's alive in the artists he influenced and the spiritual moments he created for people everywhere.
So, the boy from Faisalabad, who dreamed of singing before the world, he actually did it and became immortal in the process. He truly earned that title, the voice of the divine. It's hard to think of another sound quite like it, transporting you, comforting you, uplifting you, all at the same time.
It really is a journey from that dream to global icon status, from family tradition to a universal message. His story shows how true art, especially art filled with that spiritual depth and commitment, it just has this power to connect, to heal, to last. It wasn't just music. It was profoundly human. Reminds us of what we all share, those deeper longings.
What an incredible story we've covered today.
Yeah.
Diving into Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan's life and, well, just that unbelievable voice, from Faisalabad roots to being the global sound of Sufi music. Truly a phenomenon. His way of blending the sacred and the modern created something that just keeps inspiring.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How do certain artists, like Nusrat, manage to break through all the barriers, culture, language, even time, to achieve that kind of universal connection, that seeming immortality? What is it about their art, their sound, that resonates so deeply years after they're gone, makes it feel just as alive today?
That is a powerful thought to leave everyone with, something to definitely ponder. And if you haven't really listened to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, we absolutely urge you to. Maybe start with Must, or Shahen Shah. Just let that voice of the divine wash over you. Thanks for joining us on this.